Yeah, it's great to see you all. I'm Hannah Redil, and for those who don't know me, I'm English communication coach for pharma professionals. Probably you already know a little bit about me. And today we have also guest, Katerina Tokhovic. She's also
Hello.
coach. She'll tell you more about herself. And we'll discuss together such important topic as meetings in the companies. Well, why that's a problem? Actually, you know that lots of people complain that they have really lots of meetings, long meetings, not efficient, not productive, useful. Is it about just preparation, or is it about the leader of the meeting who doesn't know how to organize the meeting? So we'll discuss all these important things. While I'm letting people in, please let us know in the chat where you're from, so we know what countries you came from. Even if you want to mention what companies you work for, or what position you have, or what departments you work, it will be even more helpful. And also I invite you to the discussion, to join our discussion with Katerina, because together we can find the best solution to help lots of people. All right. Good. Please let us know in the chat a little bit more about you.
Nana, tretos.
Good. Great, you have people from Ukraine. It's always nice. We'll see, Katerina, if you'll have someone from your
From
country.
Croatia, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, from Ukraine.
Well, we have
Okay, Veronica is working in Croatia.
Okay, she's a CRO. That's great. Diana from Bosnia.
Hello.
Good. Hello, Switzerland. Even someone from Switzerland. All right, so it's good. There are people from different places. From Hungary, Nikki from Hungary. Hello, Nikki. All right, Dmitry is from sales department.
My colleague in sales.
Yeah, all right. Good. It's great to know a little bit each other. You know. Sorry, we don't understand you. Could you speak in English? Or if you're not, is it possible you mute your microphone if you're not talking to us?
You can mute him too.
All right. Good. All right. We have someone from Budapest. Good. Excellent. All right. Please let us also know if you have experience in leading meetings. If it happened to you that you were responsible, or for now, it's your regular job, you have to meet people, organize, arrange meetings in your company. And you can share your experience with that. That will be very valuable for all of us. Good. All right. So we'll start. And if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, it will be great. Okay, so any meetings starts from preparation, right? So this is the biggest job you have to do before the meeting. After that, it's the meeting itself, whereas the bigger role of the leader or chair the meeting. And of course, after the meeting, there's also some work. So you need to make sure that the tasks which were assigned are completed successful, if people need any support or help from you, right? So each part of the preparation and the meeting itself matters. We have also to understand that there are different types of meetings. So we need different preparations to all of them, all right? So what is actually meeting? So meeting is when we have 2 or more people, right? It's already a meeting. Okay, I would need also to let people in, so I'll just track a bit, but I guess it wouldn't affect our conversation. All right, so what other types of meetings we need to be ready for? The first is status update meeting, right? Next one, decision-making meeting, right? Problem-solving meeting, team building, idea sharing, presentations or training, negotiation, interaction with external stakeholders, right? And probably many others. Which of them you have experience with? Which of them is the easiest to prepare and to conduct? Right, you can unmute your microphone or write in the chat. If you want to speak up, it's even better. Trainings. Okay, someone is performing trainings, right, for companies. Good, all right. Well, idea sharing, team building meetings matters a lot, all right. What might be difficult sometimes, negotiations, right? When you have to negotiate something with the clients, or more important, interaction with external stakeholders. All right. We have also Maha, right, from Jordan. And Maha lives in the USA and studies something about logistics. Okay, welcome to our meeting. All right, so there are different types of meetings. Now, I would invite Katrina to share the flow with me and tell us more about the meetings, how to make meetings effective. Katrina, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I wanted to say that I was great with the idea when Hannah invited me to share this webinar with you about meetings, and it was like, oh, great idea, because as everybody, I'm working in a big company now, and we have a lot of meetings, and we have attended a lot of inefficient meetings, not that people wanted it to be inefficient, but we forget to do some important steps to make a meeting efficient. And when you said this about types of meeting, what do you, Hannah, which type of meeting you consider most easy to have, most easy to prepare? Because when you said idea sharing, I have been to some brainstorming meetings. It's really hard because people are shy to bring their idea to the table, to say something they think. And other than that, there are people who are always criticizing. When it's brainstorming, it should be free of criticism. You should talk, you should give all the ideas, and then after that, evaluate what is worth for your company or the project or something you are taking care of.
You
you
are
think,
right,
Hannah?
Katerina. Actually, from my point of view, first we would need to consider what type of people are there, right? Or maybe focus first on building a relationship and developing culture within the team, right? And later it might be easier.
Yeah, especially if it's international company.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
it's really demanding. Okay, we can discuss a bit. I prepared my part of presentation about how to lead an effective meeting. We are still talking about lockdowns and corona time in our lives in last 2 years. There is a lot of meetings still like this online with Zoom, like webinars or something. And I'm having some idea that it's more easier that meeting becomes an effective if you're online. People are tending to have more time. It looks like that. So maybe this is a time when we get conscious that we have ineffective meeting and that we should do something about that. I can share my presentation, right?
Can you? Yeah.
Yes. Can you see it?
Mhm. Yeah,
You
that's
see it?
great.
Okay. So this is one of the funniest picture I have seen in Corona about effective leading of one meeting. So it said if you can hold it in plank and get a good meeting, it means it's efficient. So I think it's really about that. And this is what it's important. Hannah already mentioned that preparation is one part of having a good meeting. And preparation is always important for everything. Hannah is English communication teacher, and she's really preparing for her lectures, for her webinars, and she spends a lot of time preparing. Am I right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is also true for preparing a meeting, for preparing for coaching, for everything you do, you need to prepare. Then you have a meeting, and then after that, as Hannah already mentioned, you should end it and have some feedbacks, be on help for your people if you're leading a meeting. So what do we do when we prepare a meeting? The most important thing is that we have to define objectives and create an agenda. So we have a plan. What are we going to do at this meeting? Then sometimes we can improvise, but you have a plan and you are going to hold up to your plan. You can maybe not staying on right track, but you have an agenda. You have to choose participants who is really going to be on your meeting, who needs to be on your meeting, and then send the invites. You should be on time. You should stay on track with your agenda, as we said, and then you should end meeting in certain amount of time with clear actions and timeline for your people. Let's see about every of these subjects. If you have any questions, it would be great if you stop us so you can ask us, we can discuss something, or we can do it afterwards. You can write in chat or you can ask. It is more useful if you ask something, if you have your what's the word? I'm missing the word. Some examples of your meetings and some of your ideas. Okay. As we said, preparation is the key of an effective meeting. You need to communicate well. You prepare what you need to say. You have to define the objectives. In order to have defined objectives, you have to take care of your logistics. And what I mean by the logistics is where is going to be held the meeting? What's the place? What is the time of your meeting? Who are you going to invite? Who is important to be on your meeting? What do you want to do with your meeting? What's the key point of your meeting? Why are you having a meeting? That's the logistics. You have to prepare everything for your attendees. You have to send them if they need something to read before your meeting, to write something before your meeting. So that's the part of logistics. You have to prepare materials for them, and you have to create an agenda for your meeting. I didn't find any place, sometime ideal for how long your meeting should last. Did you find something like that, information like that, Hannah?
It definitely shouldn't last long, because people lose the track of what it's all about, and they are distracted. Nobody can hold that attention for such a long time. I guess so. The shorter, the better.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking, but I didn't find. Okay, it's
Yeah,
hard to
I can't
define
say it there.
ideal time. It depends what kind of meeting is that, but the shorter, the better. So that's why it is important that you prepare. Who are you going to invite? I'm sure I have been to many meetings where I didn't find the reason why I'm there. It's just like I'm going to be a number for that meeting. You needed more people to sit in the meeting room. So that's bad. You need to invite people who are connected to your project, who are connected to the situation. Team members, if you have team meetings, you should invite all team members. Don't forget somebody. It's important for them to be there. And you have to give sufficient information. During preparation, you decide what information people should have before your meeting. You have to send invites in time, so people have time to prepare, to give you response if they are going to attend, if they are if they can't come, to give them time to say that. You have to respect other obligation, other meetings, and time in general. It's very valuable for all of us, our time and time of our team members. And be on time, it's something that you shouldn't say, but I also have I have been to a lot of meetings where people are coming, meeting is at 9, people are coming little by little, 9:05, 9:10, they're coming, opening their agendas, their computers. So they're really, it's not polite, and it's not professional, and it's not considerate either. So it's very important being on time. And you should stay on track with your agenda to assure effectiveness. So shorter the better, and stick to your agenda. If you stick to your agenda, you have fixed plan, you're sure that people are focused, and very important, somebody should take notes. If you are leading a meeting, it's a bit hard if you're taking the notes, but you can ask somebody you trust or somebody who is your team member to take notes, and then afterwards you can discuss it also. Okay, so we're already at the end of the meeting. We are short. You have to be sure that everybody understands their tasks. That's very important thing. So if something is understandable to you, if you understand something, it's your idea, you have to share it with people, and you have to be sure that they understand. We said communication is the key. You have to check with them if they understand what's their tasks. Somebody should create meeting minutes. Probably it's you, because you're the meeting lead. In that meeting minutes, you define clear actions. You say to people at the end of the meeting, what do you expect from them? What are the actions they have to take? And give some timeline and directions. What do you expect? In which amount of time? And this is also very important for us to discuss what you should not do at your meeting. Sorry. I'm just wanted to check if somebody has some questions in chat. So we already said, don't be late. Don't rush, but don't be late. Start in time. You don't have to talk all the time. Even though if you're leading the meeting, you don't have to talk all the time. You have to give people time to talk. Mobile phones, it's also something that is taking focus to people from your meeting, it's distracting them. So it's very important that mobile phones are off, that you don't look at your mobile phone. It's also not polite. And it's very common now that we drink coffee at meetings, eat some cookies maybe.
You think it's bad?
No, it's great. It's great, but you shouldn't eat something that is crunchy, that it's making noises, that
Yeah.
is taking off focus. I was on one education. It was not a meeting, it was a whole day education, and it was very interesting subject. And I was writing notes on my computer, on my on my computer, not taking notes, writing. And my colleague said, "Oh, please, it's really distracting me, the noise of the, typing on the computer." And I said, "Okay." I wanted to be modern because I'm always writing, and it's really nice. But I have all these books with writing of my meetings, educations, and stuff. And I wanted to be modern, and I wanted to type on the computer, but I was distracting somebody. So food can be distracting and taking focus. It's nice to eat, but something small, not crunchy, not making noise. And also it's not nice to interrupt people when they're talking. So we have to be considerate about somebody talking. This is something a little bit about how to lead a meeting. Do you have some questions, some ideas, something that you want to share with us about what we talk? Or maybe not for the moment, and Hannah can take it from here.
Yeah, so feel free to express your thoughts on the topic. I guess the eating is not good because it's not only distracts someone else, but as your brain is and your body is more focused on digesting food, right? Rather than thinking. However, some people say when they are chewing something, it helps them to concentrate. So might be partly, it might be true, but yeah, definitely we can drink something. Water is the best, but if you want to drink some tea or coffee, it's okay.
Yeah.
But in this case, it would be great, let's say, if everyone is drinking something. In this case, we are in equal conditions, so it's fine to do this. Very funny pictures, Katerina, and very memorable. These are basic things, but sometimes I don't know why we, let's say, arrive late. Maybe because we don't think it's important. We don't believe that we can bring some value to the meeting, right? Or if you have any ideas, please help me and share with us. We have lots of people here, so if you want to introduce yourself and share your ideas about the meetings in your company, or something about the topic we were discussing, like food or drinks at the meetings.
If the meeting is short, you don't need to eat. But if the meeting is longer, we can make some pauses. So we can eat in pauses.
Yeah, sometimes it's good because it helps people to feel relaxed. Let's say if that's team building meetings, it might be even good because people feel relaxed. It's like home, informal situations. So everyone would be more open. All right, someone shared a question.
And a good question.
I have interrupt correctly and acceptable. Katerina, do you know any ideas how to interrupt?
It's always, I think it's always the same. It's something like school, it's always like getting up your hand, wait for somebody to finish their talking, and then ask politely if you can add something, ask something. I think it's very important that we interact with people on the meeting. But if somebody is talking at the same time you're talking, it's very unproductive. And it can be.
But what if the speaker doesn't stop and his speech is really long? So what to do in this case? Is it okay to interrupt?
I would say raise a hand. It's always okay to take somebody's attention, because people can sometimes, even though they can be nervous and they can talk and not paying attention, it's very important when you talk to pay attention to people, because you're, I would say, here for them. So you have to see people. And if somebody is maybe nervous, or they prepared long for that speech, I think it's always polite to raise our hand. Does somebody have another maybe idea? How would you interrupt somebody? How do you interrupt when you need to say something on your meetings? Thank you, Marina, for your question. What do you do, Hannah, when you have to interrupt?
That's important, being brave and open. Once you participate at the meeting, and if you have any question, you should ask them. If you see that speaker doesn't stop, it's good, of course, to indicate that you have a question, you want to speak or share something important related to the topic, right? Of course. So definitely it makes sense to politely ask or say something like, excuse me, could I add something? Or I have a question. Is it possible to jump in here? So we can use different phrases, but that's important, just being polite, right? And if you have great idea to suggest something, to share or to ask, of course you should do it. Even so, you are interrupting someone.
Okay.
Right? Someone suggested great idea. Well, raise hand, wait to the end, okay, or to the pause, right? And if the speaker asks to interrupt anytime, so do it. Yeah, great, definitely. Sometimes people prefer not to be interrupted during that meeting, during the speech, and they just say at the beginning, hi, you can ask me all the questions at the end.
Yes.
So in this case, you might note your question somewhere, so you remember it, and at the end to ask. By the way, they can also type it in the chat when it's a live meeting, and the speaker or the host of the meeting, or maybe the support, will notice this, and at the end, you will hear your answer. All right, Dmitry wrote that it's very good to involve as many people as possible. Assign a role timekeeper. Okay, when we have someone to help you with rabbit hole. Oh, that's something interesting. Have you heard about that, Katerina?
No,
Dmitry, can you tell us more about that?
Dmitry, we are
Please.
Turn on your camera. You were turn camera before. We want to know about rabbit hole. We're curious. Dmitry, can you hear us? No.
Yes, colleagues, I'm here.
Okay.
All right. So you have some roles in your company or in your team, right? You have timekeeper, and what does it mean, rabbit hole?
Rabbit hole that some people try change meeting in another way, and people who help control that all meeting align with topic, with main subject.
Great.
Yeah. It's great to have someone who would remind us that we have the agenda, we have some points in the agenda, we have to stick to it. Sometimes people might be really talkative and others might be silent, right? So we have to do something with that to make sure that we have the goal, right? Why we are together. Good, right. So what are the other signs of bad meetings, let's say? Well, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so sum up, meeting without a clear goal. So it should be goal. Everyone who's invited should understand his part in the meeting and the goal, why they are together. It's better to plan it beforehand, so people understand they have time to prepare for the meeting and they understand what they're going to do there. As Katrina said, there should be a very clear agenda, right? Why sometimes people don't have good agenda and are not prepared? We can discuss this as well, because it's very important topic. Why people don't have clear agenda or clear goal for the meeting? They didn't have time to prepare. They might think it's not important.
Or maybe it's not the thing for, it's maybe not for meetings, because some things you can do with emails and some calls. You don't have to have a meeting all the time. It's something like it's modern to have meetings, so some things could be resolved easier. You don't have to have a meeting for everything. So maybe if you don't have a good topic for a meeting, you also can't have a clear agenda, good agenda.
All right, yeah, you're right, Katerina. So in this case, it makes sense even to collect ideas, thoughts, and then to see if that makes sense to meet all together, right? And also who should be invited to the meeting. That's very important.
Yeah.
Show up, and sometimes people are not prepared. So, they should prepare the report or some data, and they're not prepared. But good thing they showed up at the meeting on time. So good job on that. But still, why they are not prepared? Can think a bit why people don't come prepared, even though they know and understand it's important meeting.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have time. Maybe they are new to their job and didn't have time to prepare.
All right, maybe they didn't think it's so important for them.
Yes.
All right, so what we can do to stimulate people to prepare better for the meeting and just do their part and their role which was assigned to them? What we can do?
I think that's the part of logistics I was telling you about. That's when you indicate to people why it's important for them to show to your meeting and what do they have to prepare. If you indicate very well what do they have to prepare, they don't have excuse to come not prepared. So it's important from my point of view that you indicate to people what's important, what's the importance of your meeting and what they should prepare.
All right. Sometimes you may think everything is important as we are together, right? So to make sure that people are prepared when we know that's important parts of the meeting, it makes sense to connect with them before the meeting to make sure they are on the track, that they are ready. If they need some support, they need some additional information or data to be prepared. And eventually, if they have some health issues or family issues, so we'll know beforehand, and already we can prevent it or even assign this task to somebody else who can help and support that person.
Great idea.
Maybe different situations even in the families, we don't know. We can't always assume that people are procrastinating and they are lazy, right? There are probably some objective reasons. Veronica, you wanted to share something? Hi, we can't hear you. Please unmute yourself. Unmute your microphone.
Sorry, I put on the camera and forget about my my microphone. Maybe it's the reason of my bad preparation. It's a joke. So it's a good question about why A lot of meeting is so bad prepared. I think it's like a trap and a closed circle, because you can be prepared so good, and when you present your presentation or your speech or something else, and when you don't get a feedback, questions or people don't want to be involved in this presentation, and you can be demotivated. And why I should prepare so good, sitting for 1 week to prepare these slides if nobody asks, because people don't want to switch on the camera to say something, even to write something. They eating, like you said, and doing their home stuff. I don't know. So I think this is a problem, and my question is how to involve people, how to ask them maybe to switch on the camera, and to talk. Maybe you have some tips. Thank you.
Great question. Great, very important question, Veronica. Moreover, you do such a hard work. You share presentation, you speak, and eventually they don't remember it. Yes, they might ask you, hi, did you mention this? You didn't talk about that. And you feel so demotivated and disappointed about that. So what we can do, Katerina, in this case?
Well, it's really big problem for online meetings. You still work online, Veronica. You have online meetings. Yes, that's really hard, even for meetings, even for students. That's really hard stuff. Well, you can always try to see how if they done some makeup, if they prepared for a meeting, make some funny notes about the meeting before the meeting. But if it's not companies, it's not mandatory for your company to have a light up camera. It could be hard to motivate people. It could be hard. You can always try. You can ask them to prepare some their slides and motivate them like that. You can make some share presentations. You make 3 slides, somebody other make 3 slides. So like that, you can involve them in the meeting, so they feel like they are part of the meeting. They are important. But I can understand people now in this phase. We are already 3 years at home. Some of us still working from home, and people can lose some motivation.
Yeah, that's so difficult to work from home. And sometimes people have just one room. And let's say if you have husband who's also working, or wife or partner or brother or sister, children, and they are working at the same time. You don't have space, you don't feel safe even. You don't have clear wall eventually behind you just to switch on your camera. So on the other hand, we have to discuss it beforehand. I think it should be mandatory for people to switch on camera. And it's the responsibility of the host of the meeting to let people know beforehand. So you create the culture when everyone turn on the camera. And also that's important to have some interaction. It's not just like one person sharing some data, which we can't memorize. We don't remember that. So maybe it makes sense just to share with each other in one space some data, some reports, and no need to meet and share that presentation if nobody is paying attention to this. Right. Of course, we may talk about how to prepare interactive presentation so everyone could take part in and pay attention. You may pay attention to how we compose slides, to the tone of the voice, interacting with the audience, asking some questions, some provocative questions. It helps to just stimulate them to discuss this. So it's not just like you speaking and that's all, we forget and move on, right? So there should be clear goal actually first, why you share this information, who needs this, will you discuss this? If just for information, you can send emails to everyone, you can send your presentation with all the numbers.
But if you involve people, as Hannah said, I think that may be the key to involve people, and also company culture. Create company culture that maybe not mandatory, but that people want to be on the meeting, to turn on the camera and enjoy the meeting, be part of the meeting.
Yeah, and in this case, as we said before, there should be very comfortable atmosphere in the team. So you really want to see each other, to communicate, to support, and to work on one goal, right? If you can create such an environment in your company, in your team, that's will be great for everyone, because everyone who is in that team can benefit from this. So before starting from introducing ourselves and talking how great skills we have, we may start from just getting to know each other and what situations we are in, share something personal, and even meeting sometimes outside of the company. It would be great just to feel each other, what you can do. And if everyone take part in that, it will be great, because everyone can benefit. Of course, I'm talking about the ideal situation. People are different, right? There's someone who are more extroverted. They prefer to speak, to express their thoughts in this way. They think, and others just to think on something, they need to be silent. So we have also to understand each other. When someone is speaking, they are thinking, and other people are thinking when they are silent, right? And also when we share our opinion, even some crazy ideas, we have to know and be sure that it will be accepted. So they won't make fun of that and won't laugh. Or even laugh, that's good.
Or even laugh.
But with the positive thoughts, right? They won't think you're not professional, but moreover, that you're a funny person and you bring little light to the interview. So it's not like the routine work you have to do, but you also together, you're human and you have some fun together, right?
Are you a big team, Veronica? Do you have a big team?
Yes, we have a huge team around the world, and we meet generally like regionally. For example, European Union, some colleagues from. For example, I had today a presentation, but it was success. I don't want to say something about this, but I just want to admit that it's most of the times when I listen there someone's presentation, like I don't want to be involved, and I don't know why, because I'm listening, and I don't know what the problem. Now, maybe you are right that you need to like your tone of your voice should be positive, and when you are smiling, everyone is feeling this, and yeah, and of course, you started to want to interact, to collaborate, to ask something. Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's good you're open and decided to share it with us, because the situation is really common in most of the companies. Usually at the meeting, people don't know each other and don't want to know each other as well. Right? They just prefer to do and share that presentation as quickly as possible.
And finish it as quickly as possible, yes.
Yeah, all right. So let's move on and talk about other things like decisions are discussed but not decided. Dmitry mentioned that we have to have person responsible for that rabbit hole, right? So we make sure that we are on track, right? And we discuss really what we planned, what we wanted, and of course we come to some decisions, right? We set up actions, so we feel that it's productive meeting. It's not wasting each other's time. Underestimating the value of time. All right, it's okay when we run, when we spend more time. Anyway, they are at work, they have to stay at the meeting. So it's a bit hard to stay 2-3 hours and remember and being active during the meeting. So we have to understand that we are people, right? We're not robots. We can't do the work. We can't just sit and be productive and think very clearly for such a long time. So I don't know, what do you think, Tarina, would be the great time? Maybe half an hour and then break. It's like exercising kids at school. They do some fun dance or sing.
Maybe half an hour to 45 minutes tops, I would say. After that, you can see people on the phone, scrolling, talking to each other. So I think it's like school hour.
Yeah, but after that, it might be difficult to collect and again to catch their attention, right? So we have again to think of something like a question to people, because question works the best. Then they just switch on and ready to continue. Good. What else? Some distractions might happen when people check their phones, you know, it's so addictive. So during the meetings, I try just turn my phone the opposite side, because I feel that I'm distracting. So all the time it's switch on, I want to check it. So it's better not to do it.
And you feel obliged to answer immediately if you receive some important email or something. It's better not to check.
Yeah. So what other distractions might be? So phone first. Sometimes people prefer to discuss immediately with the speaker what was just said. They think it's quiet, but it's quite annoying, or comments everything, right, what was said. And they think it's okay, nobody's carrying it's not. But I'm talking about real meetings, right, in the conference hall or conference room. So that means there are too many people at the meeting. You are not involved.
You invited too many people who are not connected to the subject. That could be distracting also, because people are wondering why are they there, why are they on the meeting. So that means that you invited too many people who are not connected to the subject closely. Maybe you can share something with them, as you said, via email, some reports, some stuff. You don't have to make meetings out of everything.
Yeah, and you know, Katrina, sometimes I'm thinking that it's kind of culture for most of the companies. So they have rules. There should be meetings, lots of meetings, presentations. It should be very formal for everyone so they could feel they're at work, right? It's hard. It's hard to work for
You come with your
everyone.
computer, with your notebook. You look very busy.
Yeah, right. So
Diana.
Diana, I see that somebody raised their hand. Yeah, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I will not turn my camera on because I'm on sick leave, so you don't want to see me right now. But yeah, I respect that the speaker should turn camera on. But yeah, in this case, I have some
You're excused.
yeah, excuses. So yeah, I wanted just to ask because now I'm the lead of one project, and weekly I'm organizing meetings with almost the same amount of people. So that's between 15 and 20 people. So that's always the same group. And it's weekly, and we are discussing new things. At the beginning, I'm giving status update about that project, and later we are discussing some open topics. And I realized that always I have two groups. One is super enthusiastic and they're always there. Everything is fine. Yeah, go for it. Another group is people who are always complaining about something, new things, old things. Why that's like, let's call them haters. And at the middle of my meeting, always focus is on that group of haters, and they are leading a meeting in some direction where I don't want to go. So my question here is how to move focus on enthusiastics and how to be focused on the agenda, on the plan, and how to avoid losing focus because of people in the group who really do not want to be there, or I have no idea what is going on. But yeah, I hope that you understand my point.
Yeah. Can I ask something, Hannah, before you say something? Have you tried to give them space to speak, to prepare for the next meeting project? Do you have time in your project for that?
Yes, last time, because two of us are leading that part, and we had a meeting, literally meeting under meeting, to discuss like, okay, we see that we have some problems. Can you speak up? How you think that we can improve our work? Where you see the problem? Or literally to discuss open points with what they highlighted before. And again, new open things, and we are going back into dark hole. So yeah.
Okay, you already tried to talk to them, and you didn't have any feedback from them where they are negative to your project?
I do not want to say on that direction, but it's always or opening even more questions, never closing current one, and then that it's always like magic circle.
Okay, and have you tried to give them some assignments for the next meeting and try to move from the bad side to good side?
Yeah, we tried to give them like to give them space to make their ideas doable. So to see, okay, if we go on your ideas, on your way, where we will finish. And no, that's dead end. So that's not going. So I just don't want to show to someone, say, hey, if you are not interested, please go. Go, or please do not be here. But yeah, how to avoid their opinion? They are not to avoid opinion. They are there for a reason. But how to avoid that? That focus on the meeting is not there, and then that group of people who are super enthusiastic, they're like thinking about their decision. Maybe we should go with that, and then we are like, dead end again.
And what I wanted to ask is, do you have to invite them? They are a crucial part of your team.
That's a good question. They were there at the beginning of the project, and they were like main links in that long chain at the beginning. But I think in the current status, they are not so important right now.
Maybe you can skip them from time to time.
Yeah, slightly. yeah, is it polite to at one point of the meeting, not on the meeting or during the discussion, to say, yeah, maybe we just don't need you anymore, not on that way, but some nice and polite
Maybe
way.
not, maybe have a meeting without them. Whole meeting if you don't need them every time. And maybe you can bribe them with sweets. As we talked about the food. When you see they're becoming negative, give them some sweets or candies like it.
Yeah, that's good.
Or maybe some game, that can be energy changer at the moment. Maybe something to switch the energy in the room when they become negative, to make to put away focus from their energy and negativeness, and to put it something positive.
Yeah, sometimes it's just person like that. Sometimes, yeah, it's just bad feedback. Okay, every feedback is a gift, so I appreciate even bad feedback.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I understand your point and try to implement it. Thank you.
Okay. And we can have another webinar maybe.
Yeah,
Anna, do you
how
have
to
some
avoid
ideas?
haters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good
you're
subject.
so right. Yeah, so interesting subject, because there are really, I would say, group of people who are complaining, they're not happy, and it's their lifestyle.
Yeah.
They're used to this. Their life, it's like complaining. Everything is terrible because they're not happy with their life, probably, right? And they didn't appreciate things they have. So sometimes it would be good to distract, and if possible, of course, to meet them in person, if possible,
Yeah.
right? For a short meeting, just to let them know that they appreciate it. We accept all their feedback and opinions. At the same time, we need to focus on positive things, as positive thinking is a creative way solving any problems, right? If we think that it will fail, and if we'll try to find some problems, we'll find them, right? If we focus on some positive outcomes, we'll have it more likely. So because we work, we search on that. So maybe you may, if that's possible, of course, try at the beginning of the meeting just to mention this, to help them level up their mood. Let them know that you appreciate to see them all, and everyone should share something positive what happened before, just for a little. Of course, if there are 50 people, maybe it will be hard for everyone to speak. It makes sense all the time just to meet the group of people, and make sure these haters with the one who are more enthusiastic. Well, and just try to talk in small circle with them to focus on some positivities. So that's
a great advice, one-on-one also, if it's possible, of course.
Yeah, yes, you're right.
And we have an interesting question from Marina. Have you read it?
Oh yeah, how to deal with cultural differences. Sometimes my jokes don't look funny. Okay, or is it a question to the level of language? You know, you're right. So there are different cultures, and before joking, we have to know them a bit better, so they understand us, that we have positive attitude to the situation, good intention. And in this case, when you're more relaxed with them, you can joke, right? Because at the beginning, when you don't know each other, everyone just feel a bit awkward sometimes, and it's hard to even to accept jokes, right?
Yeah. Especially in cultures, that's a really whole new subject with different cultures. It's how we communicate depending where we're from. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I think that people from international companies would have a lot of things to say about that subject.
Yeah, yes, all right. So I guess that any cultures, they like to joke,
Yeah.
and they like to feel relaxed. But at works, I know that there are companies, they feel very strict and very formal. It refers to the clothes they have to wear and
Mhm.
to the rules and to hierarchy, things you are not allowed to say to the senior person. They have these rules, and it's difficult to come and break everything. So
Yeah.
first, makes sense to know them better. And after that, of course, if you like joking, do it, right? We also like this. So what do you think, Katerina?
Yeah, I'm always for joking and laughing, but it's really it depends on the company culture, as you said. There are, I'm in my company for long period of time, and I'm very you can communicate with everybody. It's easy, but when new people come, I can see them. They are a little bit closed. They are taking care of what they are saying. They are not making jokes. It's like, you need time to know people, and maybe it's not about your language, it's about their language. Maybe they don't understand you very well, so that's also can be part of the problem.
Yeah, yes, that's great, Katerina. So at first, in any meetings, we have to understand that meeting new people is awkward for both sides.
Mhm.
So if we focus first on understanding each other and giving space and time to get to know each other, then they might be more open after some time, right? So
Yeah.
let them stay sometimes quiet and be informal, and later on they can be more open. So I've noticed this in most cases, and especially in the group courses that I have, that the first meeting is always more formal and people are quite reserved, not that open in their speaking and exchanging ideas. So it's okay. We know that it's usual things. It's okay. So next time, next meeting will be different. If it happened that you have to meet all the time new people, and then you
It will
have
be
to get used
exhausting.
to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might feel relaxed. Yeah, at the same time, showing that you respect their culture and them as well. But joking, yeah, it's good to be funny and positive, right? But then not everyone can understand it. All right, so what else? Yeah, there are participants who want to dominate. What to do with them? How to stop them and let others to speak? They always jump in with their suggestion, question, and comment. It might be difficult, right? So maybe we can even think about another webinar and another meeting to continue with that topic.
With this group, to be more relaxed, make jokes next time. Thank you,
Yeah.
Diana. Diana has to leave.
All right. Yeah. Goodbye, Diana. Thanks for coming to our meeting. Have a good evening. All right, good. So there are lots of issues that might happen, and it's all about building relationship and communicating with people. And it's difficult just for 1 hour to mention all of them, right? There are lots of issues. I prepared the presentation with long ideas and slides, but it might be too tiring for you. So let's sum up what we've learned today. What was useful for you during today's meeting? If you can mention this, we would appreciate this. So please turn on your microphone, your camera, and tell us something about you. What did you find useful if we found something? It might be awkward to speak like that to new group, new people, right? But it's also a chance for you to challenge yourself and try to not to halt your opinion, but being open with that. We appreciate your feedback because it will help us to prepare better meeting next time, something that you in particular are interested in.
And we are nice, we're going to laugh at your jokes.
Yeah, if you have any good jokes you can share with us, that would be great. You can share with someone else, and it's very addictive. Good energy is also contagious, the same as negative one. If we share something negative to a group of people, be sure they will share it and spread it further. So let's share something good.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming to our meeting. It was great to have you all here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. When you registered for the meeting, you know that you can find me on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and Katerina is on LinkedIn.
And Facebook.
If you have any questions to her, and you want to know more about what does she do and how she helps people, please, I guess Katerina, is okay if you just connect with her, and
it would be great.
Right.
And we can discuss, and maybe you can suggest some topics that are interesting you, so we can prepare some other webinar. This was a great meeting. You had a lot of questions and a lot of examples, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's great when people feel open to speak in front of other people, share their questions, ideas. That's awesome. I really appreciate that, because this is the way how we can solve lots of issues when we communicate with each other. You may know one thing, yes, somebody may suggest another good idea, so we can all discuss this and find some common ground. Good.
Of course.
All right, great. So I guess we'll finish on that. We might think about another webinar next month, right? We'll discuss what's the date and what's the topic.
In New Year.
Yeah. There will be New Year and holidays and Christmas. So wish everyone have really great holidays, rest. I know there is the war in Ukraine, so people experience some difficulties. So let's hope you have good days with your family, you safe, and wish you all good.
And peaceful Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, and really Happy New Year. Let's be positive and believe that it will be good, even though not easy, I guess.
Okay, enjoy, everybody. Thank you for coming. It was really, really great pleasure and great time we had. Until the next webinar.
Yeah, see you next time.
Best holidays. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.